And once upon a time in a gas and liquid stew, a molecule was like, hey, I turn me into you. How the universe created a tool with which to know itself.
Yeah, the universe is weird.
I'm kind of freaking out. What the heck is this all about? Infinitum, Bouten, Stetson, hadronizing, gluon, Jetson. We'll never understand half of what we have in hand. At least that's what I fear. Cause the universe is weird. Hey Robinson, as you just listened to me sing, the universe is weird. And there's one bit of it that is particularly weird, and that is the biggest mystery that I have ever come up with, that I have ever seen and encountered, and that I have ever seen anybody question. I am very curious about this mystery, and maybe one day I'll make a video about this mystery, and maybe one day I'll try to explain it to you. I don't know. I don't know if it's even explainable. The question is how the universe created a tool with which to know itself. Because it's true, we are created just by the interactions of the universe. We are just created by the molecules clashing or not clashing, and the chemical reactions and the physical reactions that happen in molecules in the universe. We are just that. We are nothing more than that. And through those material interactions, we developed conscience. We became conscient of what we are. We became conscient of the environment. We started to notice that we are a thing. And in that way, the universe, through the clashes of their molecules, created and developed a tool, our conscience, that is able to study itself. We study molecules, we study how molecules crash, and those molecules crashing are the ones that develop our conscience. We are the tool that the universe uses to know itself. And that is fascinating. That's a great thought that one time I had. And you know what I do with my thoughts? I write them down in this, a notebook, my journal. And now this video is about my journal, so without further ado, welcome to Victory Ville. So ever since I learned how to read, I've loved it. I've read ever since I was in kindergarten and I started to read. These are about the first books that I ever read because, well, they are small and for children, and I loved reading. I loved reading these ever since I started to read. I was just fascinated by the fact that you could transport to another place, to another life, to another adventure, that you weren't living but that you could live through words. I loved the way that I could learn from stories, the way that I could grow with stories, the way that I could understand stories in different ways as time went by, like with The Little Prince. It always fascinated me. And then some years later, the time came when I started to fascinate myself with movies. And if you don't know that story, click here, the story is there. And I then realized that I could make movies, that I could create movies, that I could create this art that I've loved ever since I was a child. And somewhere around there, I also realized that the same was true about books. I realized that I could write books, that I could write my own stories. And I started writing my own stories. I started to write about these intergalactic wars that occurred, amazing characters that had weapons and disabilities and mind problems, and then other aliens that came from another dimension and had black holes in their mouths. And I continued to write, I continued to have ideas and get these inspiration moments in which I thought that I could write, and I've never actually finished a book or a story. I am actually working on some things that I believe will be finished, but I am not sure because I haven't been able to become a real writer as of now. I am working on it. And that is when the journal comes in. Because I read in a book that I once was reading about creation and about creativity, that having a journal is like the best thing that one as a writer can have. Because that's where you pour your thoughts, that's where you capture the essence of you and start to develop a sense of narrative, and it's just personal, and you can go through it and realize how you've grown, how you've changed, how you have not changed, how you have not grown, what you have to do, what you don't have to do, and just a register of how your life has been. At the same time, growing as an artist. That is the use of having a journal. It truly has been working a lot for me because every thought that I have, every idea that I have, like how the universe created a tool with which to know itself, that's a thought, and I wrote it down and I start to explore it and I start to make sense of it and I investigate and I write it down and I just continue my thoughts and give my mind somewhere to pour down. Also, sometimes it is just nice to have a place to pour your feelings in. Because sometimes you don't have an outlet for your feelings. Sometimes you don't know where and how, and even if you have to express your feelings, sometimes you don't even understand your feelings. And that is called alexithymia, if you wanted to know. Sometimes you can even describe them. And so having this journal and writing down whatever you feel, how you feel, why you feel it, what caused it, helps you a lot to make sense of what is going on, what is happening, what happened, understand yourself, understand your surroundings, understand life. It's awesome to have this, not just because it helps me to be more creative, not just because it helps me to create more things, to write my novels, to write my stories, but also because it helps me make sense of what is going on in life, what is going on around me. In every single way that I can. I like science, so sometimes I do it scientifically. I like art, so sometimes I do it just with feelings. And I like just discussing things, so sometimes I just discuss with me inside the pages of this notebook. This notebook is one of the most valuable, precious, and personal things I've ever had in my life. It will continue to help me. It's not a diary. You don't tell this notebook what has been going on in your life today or what you did today. You can, but this is not what you do. What you do is whenever you need this to help you go through something, it is there and it will help you. Because a journal helps you in very, very, very many ways. I don't know if that's right, but very many ways. And so I just wanted to share that with you and to tell you that maybe you should get a journal because it really has helped me and maybe it will help you. So yeah, that's my recommendation to you, Robin. And that is it for your challenge. There is not going to be a challenge because I've given you enough challenges, big challenges, and I know that you're working on something big. So there is not going to be a challenge today, but I am very, very excited to see what have you come up with, what you are going to give us, because I want to see it, Robin. And yeah, that's it. So see you whenever I see you. Bye. It's freaking hot here. It's very hot in here. Victoryville, population 70. Yes, Robin, we continue to grow. We have 70 subscribers now. We have 70 inhabitants. Our population is 70, and I'm very happy and I'm very thankful to all of you, to all of you who are watching our videos. Thank you very much. Continue to share. Thank you. Now, the villager of the week comes as no surprise because this streak of 3 is Ana Patricia Reyes Ferreira. I know, Patty, you have your streak of 3, and this time is not just because you commented, because some other people commented. You are getting competition. It is because you said that you like villager. You helped me get a name for us, and I'm not certain that that's going to be the name that we use, but in your honor and because of your streak, we're using it for today's video. So yeah, villager, thank you for that. Patty, continue to be a great viewer, and someone try to break that streak. And now finally for the message of this week. Dear villager, go play with the hands of someone you love, because Robin, that is actually one of the sweetest things that one can do with someone you love. And that is it. Oh, yeah, oh, it's so weird. It's so freaking weird. Oh, the universe is weird. The universe is weird. Oh, why on earth is the earth so weird? And the universe, oh, why in the universe is the universe so weird? Yeah. I don't know if you noticed, but it's freaking me out. It's so weird. It's so weird.